Welcome to History's Darkest Questions. Today's video is Homosexuality in Ancient Greece. Imagine a world where passionate relationships between men were not just accepted, but celebrated. That's ancient Greece, a society where love, lust, and power intertwined in ways that defy modern understanding. In ancient Athens, the relationship between an older man, usually in his 20s or 30s, and a younger adolescent boy was considered a vital part of education and socialization. The older man, or Erastes, served as a mentor to the younger, known as the eromenos. This bond was seen as both erotic and educational, meant to prepare the young boy for adulthood. While our modern sensibilities may find this practice deeply disturbing, for the Greeks, it was an essential aspect of societal structure. The warrior society of Sparta took things to another level. Spartan males left their homes at the tender age of 7 to join the agog, a rigorous military training program where they were paired with older soldiers. These pairings often developed into physical relationships, believed to foster unity and brotherhood, essential for the phalanx formation in battle. Imagine the emotional intensity of depending on your lover for your very survival in the heat of combat. However, this is not to say that everything was universally accepted. Relationships between adult men and social equals often carried a heavy stigma. They could be seen as aberrations that threatened the traditional norms of Athenian society. The idea here was paradoxically that love should establish some sort of inequality to sustain itself, placing homosexual relationships in a precarious balancing act between veneration and vilification. The poetry of ancient Greece reveals yet another layer. Sappho of Lesbos, whose lyrical poetry sang the praises of love between women, embodies this complexity. On her island of Lesbos, female same-sex love was not merely tolerated, but immortalized in verse. Her works speak of deep, abiding love, but historical interpretations suggest that these relationships, while celebrated in art, were still constrained by societal norms that favored male dominance. Yet, not all forms of same-sex love were equally accepted. In the context of the Greek Symposium, a social gathering for drinking, philosophical discourse, and sexual pursuits, pederastic relationships were common. However, the opposite, older women with younger men, was not just rare but almost taboo. This double standard reveals a facet of ancient Greek sexuality that deeply intertwines with the power dynamics and gender roles rigidly enforced in society. The Sacred Band of Thebes further illustrates the celebrated aspect of male same-sex relationships. This elite military unit comprised 150 pairs of male lovers. These pairs fought side by side, leveraging the belief that lovers would fight more fiercely to protect one another and would prefer to die heroically than show cowardice in front of their partners. Their bravery was legendary, and they were pivotal in several key battles, until their eventual and dramatic fall in 338 BCE against Philip II of Macedon. Ancient Greek pottery and visual art also bring to light the normalized depiction of homoerotic relationships. Vases and frescoes frequently illustrate scenes of older men courting younger boys, sometimes in explicit detail. These pieces are not just artifacts, they are cultural testimonies to the normalized yet complex existence of same-sex relationships. This cultural acceptance, however, was layered with contradiction. Philosophers like Plato condemned the physical acts while extolling the virtues of the intellectual and emotional bonds that came with them. In his work Symposium, Plato explored the idea that the highest form of love transcended the physical and resided in the intellectual connection between individuals. This duality creates a fascinating tension, pushing us to reassess the boundaries between moral and immoral, natural and unnatural. Even deities were not exempt. The mythology of Zeus and Ganymede portrays same-sex attraction as a divine occurrence. Zeus, king of the gods, abducted the young Trojan prince Ganymede to serve as cupbearer among the Olympians, an honor that underscored the acceptability, at least mythologically, of these relationships even among the gods themselves. Yet, beneath the surface of these historical accounts lies the often harsh reality of societal norms and constraints. While these relationships had a recognized place, they were also instrumentalized for social, educational, and military purposes, more often reflecting societal expectations and roles rather than personal freedoms and genuine equality. Ultimately, the role of homosexuality in ancient Greece is a multifaceted topic that prompts us to question our perceptions of ancient cultures and to confront the complexities of sexuality, power, and societal norms. It was a world both alien and familiar, where same-sex love was interwoven with the fabric of society, venerated and condemned, celebrated and stigmatized. The echoes of these intricate relationships, traced across millennia, challenge us to understand the profound historical depth of human sexuality. And so, in examining the ancient Greek acceptance and paradoxical views on homosexuality, we peel back layers of history to reveal a society that both confounds and fascinates. A society where the emotional intensity of love, in all its forms, was recognized as a powerful force, capable of shaping both personal destinies and the course of nations.